Well, hello there. Welcome back to SPINBACK. I'm Rick Nair. So, in our continuing saga to answer the question of where are all the women record producers, today I'm going to talk to Susan Rogers. Susan Rogers, a world renowned recording engineer. She worked for many years with Prince, both in Los Angeles and Minneapolis, Bare Naked Ladies, zillions of other successful artists. She currently is a professor at Berklee School of Music. So, hi, Susan. It's good to see you again.
Nice to see you again.
I'd love to get, just some general sense about what it is. Is it something about the record industry, or what do you think it is that causes the numbers of female record producers to be so low? You, who have been so influential and ubiquitous in the recording industry, got any clue?
I've been asked this question for over 40 years, and so I've had a lot of time to think about it. A lot of women get started down the road of being engineers and mixers and producers, so the interest is definitely there. But at some point, they hit a bottleneck or they hit a roadblock and they don't cross the finish line. There are a couple of things that seem to be the biggest roadblocks. One is biological, and the other is societal. Biology demands that we women, if we're going to reproduce, we got to get to it, before the buzzer. And that buzzer's going to go off around age 36 or so. Men don't have that problem. So
Mhm.
women have major life decisions to make as they're in their early 30s that men don't necessarily have. Now, men have the same problem, but biologically, they don't have the same constraint. So a lot of women will just peel off, take the first exit in order to have kids. And then, as you know, it's just so hard to get back on. So that's one reason. The other reason for those of us like myself and Sylvia Massey, Leanne Unger, those of us who don't have children and who stayed on the road, didn't take the exit, there is the societal pressure. And now, by societal pressure, I don't mean anyone discouraging us. I mean the self-identity of yourself as someone would be really happy working in a male-dominated environment, working 6 or 7 days a week, and not being home at night. That isn't the kind of profile that makes you a good romantic partner. Now, if a woman is choosing a guy who's going to be a good provider, he's going to be a good partner, you want that guy to be a really hard worker. You want him to work 6 days a week, work nights, great. Let's put a swimming pool in the backyard. But what man wants to be involved with a woman who's not there? Society doesn't look at us women who are 100% devoted to our careers as being a good catch. So we get this self-impression of being someone who is in some ways a loser. Yeah, there's another biological constraint, which is the male drive to compete. Nothing wrong with that. You're
Mhm.
born with it. And women manifest a little bit differently than for men. For example, in 2018, I was invited to join four other women songwriter producers to go to New Zealand and work in Neil Fenn's studio, Roundhouse in Auckland. And we worked with female songwriters from New Zealand. You get 5 or 6 women in a control room working on a song, and it's a little bit like just passing a beach ball around. So one woman would strum some chords and say, "This is my idea. I'm not sure I got this far, but I'm not sure where to take it next." And the other women would listen. And then one woman would say, "Well, how about if we did this?" She'd take the ball, she'd take it down the field a little bit. And another woman would say, "Oh, okay, well, what if we did this?" And we would just pass that ball around the room. And it felt as though there were an us. And we collectively were making a thing. Now, I've worked mainly with men in the music business, and men do have a competitive streak that's looking to form a hierarchy. Now, rather than a circle, a pyramid. There's got to kind of be a top dog, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's instinct that's driving you to be the leader of the pack. So when men and women get together, women are looking for a different type of equilibrium in the balance, and men are elbowing for dominance. So if a woman's going to be in a male-dominated profession, she has to be okay with throwing some elbows
Mhm.
and going for some dominance, unless she is fortunate like me and is working with someone who is so dominant that, like Prince,
Yeah.
that
No
all
air.
the elbows are thrown on the lower level.
Yeah.
Or she's working with guys like Bare Naked Ladies and Geggy Taw and Robin Ford and other people I've worked with who are like, yeah, I don't care.
Right.
Let's just pass the ball back and
Well,
forth.
this is a
So,
great argument to why women should run the world, which I actually firmly believe we'd be in a better place.
Susan, thank you so much for your thoughts. I think you brought a lot of clarity to this subject.
nice to see you, Rick.
Everybody else, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
I really appreciate it.